Good morning, this is Dwayne, and today I'd like to ask you a question. How many chords do you have to know to play a song? People have asked me that over the years. How many chords do I have to learn? It's like, they don't want to learn that many chords. They think it's that chords are scary or something, and they don't, want to tackle something bigger than they can chew off. And I can kind of understand that feeling. I think I felt that way when I started learning chords as well. But the answer is, if you're just starting, all you need to know really is 3 chords, okay? And those 3 chords are called the primary chords in any key. For example, there's various keys you can play in. So you can play in the key of C, you can play in the key of D flat, you can play in the key of D, you can play in the key of E flat, and so on. There's 12 different keys you can play in, okay? Most people like to play in keys where they just have white keys. So if you want to stick with the white keys for a while, then you'd pick the key of C because it's based on the scale of C, which has nothing but white keys, okay? And the 3 chords you need to know are the 1 chord, in other words, a chord built on the 1st degree of the scale. And that's a chord. 2 notes is an interval. 3 notes, it takes 3 notes to make a chord, 3 or 4, okay? I mean, it takes 3 notes to make a chord, but it could have 4 or 5 or 6 or any number, actually. But let's start out with 3-note chords, and we just need to know 3 chords, 3 3-note chords, okay? The 1 chord is C, because it's the 1st note of the scale. The 4 chord is F, it's the 4th note of the scale, and the 5th chord is G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 5th note of the scale. The reason for that is those are the chords that will harmonize any note in that scale. In other words, you can't play any note in that scale where these chords don't harmonize, okay? In other words, if you're playing G, it'll harmonize with the C chord because it's in the C chord, right? It'll also harmonize with the G chord because it's in the G chord. It doesn't harmonize too well with the F chord, but it's not terrible either, okay? You can get by. For example, if the melody was A, it doesn't harmonize too well with the C chord or with the G chord, although that's all right. Harmonizes best with the F chord because A is in the F chord. You see that? Okay, so the 3 chords that you'd need to know to start off with are the 1, 4, and the 5 chord. And you generally play chords in the left hand. You can play them in the right too, but most people start out just playing a melody in the right hand and chords in the left hand. Let's take a simple song. Let's take Oh, when the saints, C chord. When the saints go marching. And so far all we've had is a C chord. Now this note D doesn't go too good with the C chord, but it's in the G chord, so I would go to the G chord, okay? Oh, I want to be in that number. What chord do you think you'd put with F? Well, it's in the F chord, isn't it? So that's logical. So I harmonized all of When the Saints Go Marching In with just C, F, and G, didn't I? The 3 primary chords in the key of C. Okay, let me play that all the way through. I missed the second last chord, which is G, and then C, okay? Let's take another chord. Another song, let's see. Let's try Happy Birthday. Let's try Silent Night. So any simple song I can play in the key of C by just matching it with the 1, 4, and 5 chords, okay? Now, if I learn some additional techniques based on the same chords, though, I'm not changing the chords, I can make it sound a lot smoother. In other words, instead of just holding that note, what if I broke up the chord like this, and I played the chord in the right hand? Listen to this. Does that sound a little fuller than... Yeah, it sounds a lot fuller, and yet I'm playing the very, very same chords. I just played the C chord in the right hand, G chord in the right hand, C chord. And in the left hand, I played the notes of the C chord, but I spread them out into it's called an arpeggio. You've heard of an archipelago, a series of islands? Well, an arpeggio is a series of notes like that. And I pushed down my damper pedal and I rolled them like that. And then I echoed the melody up here. In fact, I can do it exactly. Listen. See that just by expanding your knowledge just a little bit. I wasn't actually adding any color tones or anything like that. I could add a lot more, and I could add fills. Let me just take it a step further. But I want you to know that I'm not changing any of the basic chords. I'm going to put in a color tone. I'm going to put in a ninth and a seventh here. Listen. Just by putting in some sixths and sevenths and so on, and changing the root a little bit of the chord, I can add, get a much fuller sound. But that's where you start. You start with those three basic chords and then build on that. Now it depends on the chord, on the song you want to play as to how many chords you need to use. For example, there's lots of songs where you have to use more than three chords, and that means learning more chords, obviously. If I wanted to play, let's say Green Dolphin Street. That was terribly sloppy, but you see, I'd have to learn not only the C chord, but C minor 7th chord. Then I'd have to learn D minor 7th, D flat, and C, A 7th. It's D minor. That's a flat 10th, C. Then I have to go to F minor 7th, B flat, E flat, G 7th, flat 9th, and so on, okay? So you build, excuse me, knowledge builds on knowledge. And so you learn three chords, and then you learn a fourth chord, and then you learn a fifth chord, and then you add seventh to those chords, and sixths, and ninths, and 11ths, and so on. And gradually you get up to where you want to be. But it all starts with those three basic chords. So what's the answer to my initial question? How many chords do you need to know to play a song? You need three. There's some songs you can play with two, but no, not many. It's three or more, okay? And then after that, the sky's the limit as to what you want to do. So that's my little tip for today. So if you like this kind of thing, come on over to Play Piano. Sign up for my free newsletter on chords and chord progressions, and every day you'll get something from me, probably in the way of a new chord progression or a new chord or a new video or something like that. So invite you to come on over. So that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow with another tip. Bye-bye for now.